G'day there. Out for a bit of a walk and wanted to have a bit of a chat to you guys. A couple of things I read this week which really prompted a lot of thoughts on my part and a lot of concern, and resulted in a new determination to do all I can to get my voice out there on the subjects that really matter. So what did I read? I read first of all that in my country, Australia, that now they say 80% of people over 50 have some sort of chronic health disease, whether it's diabetes or a cardiovascular issue, whether it's arthritis or inflammation, or the list could go on. But 80% of people over 50 in Australia have some sort of serious ongoing disease, or at least one. That's absolutely alarming to me, because I'm well over 50. In fact, I'm 68. The other thing I read this week was that for the first time in many, many years, the average life expectancy for people in Australia dropped for the first time. This is despite all of the medical research and breakthroughs that they've had in recent years. The average life expectancy dropped, and that is so intricately linked to the first article I read about all of the chronic disease suffered by people over 50. Is that the way it's meant to be? Are we meant to just turn 50 and expect that, well, from now on it's all downhill? That we'll have health problems and our life will be filled with doctors and appointments and blood tests and x-rays, and we'll have less and less energy and we'll be able to do less and less things? I don't know about you guys, but I'm not accepting that. I'm just rejecting that totally, because that's not going to be my future. That's not how I want to spend my life. I don't know how many days I've got left, but I don't want to spend them like that. I want whatever days I've got left to be filled with vitality and health and fitness. My whole journey in recent days started with a visit to the doctor. And I remember that visit quite vividly, because the doctor said to me, well, there's 4 issues. She said to me, you've got very high blood pressure, you've got a fatty liver, you are insulin resistant, and you're considered pre-diabetic. So what did she do? She did what doctors do, and she gave me a pill for my blood pressure. Gave me a pill. You see, that's what doctors do, don't they? Doctors diagnose a problem. They diagnose an issue. They give your condition a name. So up until you see your doctor, you don't have a name for what you have. But the doctor gives you a name for it and says, okay, you're diabetic. Okay, you're got arthritis, or you've got inflammation, and you have a name for it, and then they give you a pill. You see, when I went to the doctor, I was not asked a single question about what I eat. I was not asked about my lifestyle. I was not asked about how often I get outside and what exercise I get. I was not asked about my sleep patterns. I was not asked a question about stress levels in my life. None of that. All I was given was a bottle of pills. I don't know about you, but there's something wrong with that system. A doctor that prescribes a pill that doesn't ask about your diet and your lifestyle. I can't understand that. It occurred to me very early on in this journey that if I just did what the doctor told me, if all I'd done is taken those pills that the doctor gave me and I did nothing else besides what the doctor said, do you know what would have changed in my life? Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Things only began to change in my life when I began to take action of my own. When I stood up and I said, I am going to take responsibility for my health, I am going to take decisive action, and I'm going to improve and turn my health around. It wasn't that I didn't need the doctor, but I needed more than the doctor. I needed to step up. I needed to get up and to do something. And you know, the day I did that, everything changed. Not overnight, but very quickly. You see, that's what you've got to do. You've got to change. So what did I do? I began to study and read everything I could about fatty liver and diabetes and insulin resistance, blood pressure. I began to listen to videos, and throughout that process I started the carnivore diet just over 7 months ago. And I'd have to say that for me, that was one of the greatest decisions of my life. The carnivore diet, I would say, without exaggerating, has totally transformed my whole life. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually in every dimension. This carnivore diet, I believe it is the most effective diet on the planet because I've tried so many others. I believe this carnivore diet is powerful, and it's more powerful than what we realize. I hear story after story after story of people who tell really the same story, that they started carnivore and everything changed. And they turned their life around, they turned their health around, their mental health around, they turned their whole life was turned around by this diet. Can you hear the beautiful bellbirds in the background? They're the Australian bellbird. Very hard to see, very tiny bird, but make that beautiful crystal clear bell sound, and it brings back a childhood memory for me. But look folks, here's what I want you to do. I want you, if you have any sort of health issue, if you are overweight, if you are over 50 particularly, I want you to start, to do something about your health, to take it seriously, to step up and to get started and to do it today. Don't put it off, don't say one day, do it today. And in this video I want to give you 5 essential tips that are going to help you really thrive for the rest of your life. And change the script, change the narrative of your life into something that you never dreamed possible. I believe that with all my heart. So let me quickly give you these 5 tips. I believe they're powerful and they're effective and they will make a huge difference in your life. Here's tip number 1. Keep your eye on the prize. What is it you want to change in your life? Are you overweight? How much overweight are you? How many pounds or kilos would you need to lose to be at your ideal weight? Write it down. Has the doctor given you a tag of some health label that is describing your health? Then write that down too. What is it you have? You have diabetes, you have inflammation, you have arthritis, you have heart disease. Whatever it is, write it down. What would your life be like if you lost all of that weight and you reversed those health conditions that you've just written down? What would your life be like? Take a minute to imagine that, to call it to mind. But that's the first tip, to keep your eye on the prize. Write it down. Get a little notebook or a journal of some sort, pad and pen, and write down why you're doing this, what weight you're going to lose, and what medical conditions you're going to reverse. So that's your starting point. The next point is to, what I say, clear the decks. What do I mean by that? I mean, you've got to get serious. You've got to clear the decks. And this will start in your kitchen. What have you got in your kitchen that shouldn't be there? Maybe you've got junk food, maybe you've got chocolate, maybe you've got anything that's in a packet that has a barcode. You've got to get rid of it all. All of that stuff is crap. That food is why you are sick in the first place. It's a huge part of it, because a huge part of health is your diet. That's why it upsets me so much that the doctors very rarely ask you about what you eat, and yet it's very often the key to the whole problem. What my wife and I did when we started Carnivore was we got into our kitchen and we went through the cupboard and through the fridge. Anything that had sugar in it, anything that had a box or a packet or a barcode, anything that was processed, we got it out and we just threw it out. We threw out 3 garbage bags full and got it out. And then we went shopping and we bought ourselves some quality meat and some good eggs, and we put them in the fridge and we said, we're starting again. We were not turning back. We had ruled a line in the sand and we were going on. I think that's what you've got to do. I think you've got to get serious. Okay, tip number 3. Tip number 3 is this: lose your bathroom scales. You say, what? Aren't we concerned about weight? Of course we're concerned about weight. But you see, this is what I've seen in my experience, folks, and I wish somebody had told me this when I had started. The majority of people who start Carnivore do so because they want to lose weight. They know they're overweight and they've tried 100 different diets in the past, and now they've heard about Carnivore and they think, well, maybe this one will work when all the others haven't. And so they start Carnivore with a single goal in mind, and their goal is to lose weight. And so they start into Carnivore, and you know what happens? Well, I can tell you what happened to me, and I know this is pretty common with many people. When I started Carnivore, I suffered a lot in the first 2 weeks. I had constipation, I was tired, I was irritable, I felt lousy, and to make it all worse, I didn't lose a single pound. In fact, I put on a pound. I can't tell you how disheartening that is. And I hear so many people when I read the Facebook groups and the forums, I hear that story over and over again. I started Carnivore, I'm doing it tough, and I'm not losing weight, and they give up. So many people do that, and it's a trap that traps up many people and they quit before they even start. I want to tell you that Carnivore is about far more than just weight. Carnivore is about the totality of your health, body, soul, and spirit. Yes, you will lose weight on Carnivore. I will promise you that if you follow Carnivore properly, and if you make the changes you need to make in your lifestyle, you will lose weight. It may not happen straight away, and sometimes it does take a while to kick in. So I would encourage you for the first couple of weeks not to weigh yourself. Put the scales away, put them out of sight and out of mind. And instead, I want you to record something else. I want you to get that notebook where you wrote down your reason why, your prize that you have in mind for this whole journey. I want you to write down there each day, or as often as you like, how you're feeling. What is your mood each day? What do you notice changing in your body? What are you struggling with? Are you tired? Are you constipated? Have you got diarrhea? Write those things down. Are you starting to feel better? You're starting to feel like you have more energy? Well, write that down too. Write it all down. They're the things that really matter. In time, you can weigh yourself. And I would suggest weigh yourself after 2 weeks and then maybe once a week if you want to. But it's not just about weight. This is far more than about weight. And the being obsessed with weight and preoccupied with weight, I just know from personal experience, this is going to derail the whole diet for so many people because it's about far more than weight. I promise you, you stay the course, you will lose weight. Okay, tip number 4. This is an easy one because you can see what I'm doing right now. Tip number 4 is this: get outside. Get out into nature at least once every day, be it for 10 minutes or for an hour or whatever time you've got. Make it happen. Get outside into nature. This can be going for a hike, going for a walk, going canoeing like I've been doing lately. Any activity that involves you getting outside. This is so important, and you've got to do this together with the carnivore diet. Why is it so important? Well, they tell us that if you get outside and experience nature each day, you're going to have improved physical health. Things like blood pressure and cardiovascular disease will improve just by getting outside on a regular basis. You will strengthen your muscles and your bones just from being outside. You will boost your immune system. There's so many things that just get better. Mentally, your cognitive ability gets better as you are outside. The brain likes nature, and somehow things just get better if you'll just get outside. Nature really does have a restorative effect. So make it happen, get outside. That's tip 4. And then lastly, tip number 5 is to not go it alone, to join the community, the wonderful, fantastic, marvelous carnivore community that exists right around the world. And it will be so much easier if you can do carnivore diet, if you look for and find other carnivores. You might find them in your community if you're lucky, and maybe you've got to put something on Facebook to find them. You'll get some haters, don't let them bother you. But look for and find other carnivores and meet up and talk and interact together. It's going to make it so much easier for you. If you can't find other people, and even if you can, join a Facebook community. We've got a fantastic community associated with this YouTube channel. It's simply called the same name, the Carnivore Pensioner. And we've got 300 people in that group now. They are a fantastic group of people. Never once does anyone get put down or judged for what they eat or given advice unless they ask for it. It's a great place for sharing and for interacting, and I would invite you to join that group. But don't try and do it alone. It'll be so much harder, and your likelihood of success, the odds of you succeeding on this thing, are going to skyrocket if you do it with other people. Guys, this is particularly for you. I know what guys are like. We think, yeah, I got this, I can do this. We'll just grit our teeth and get the job done. I tell you, you'll do a lot better if you link up and hook up with other carnivores. Folks, with all my heart, I just want to see people start. I just want to see people change their health, change their lifestyle, change their diet, change their life, change their destiny. And it's all possible if you will just start, if you will stand up and say, today I am taking responsibility for my life and for my health. I'm no longer just relinquishing that role to my doctor. I'm not saying don't go to your doctor, but don't just do what the doctor says. Go above and beyond what the doctor says. Take it into your own hands, do your own research, read books, study, take action, change your diet, change your lifestyle, get some exercise, get outside, join a tribe. You see, all of these things are going to change your whole life. I just want you to make it. I just want you to do this. I want you to change your future, so all of the things that you want to do, particularly in these later years of your life, you'll be able to do, like spending time with your grandchildren or going on trips or whatever it is that you want to do, you'll be able to do that. But look, thanks for watching today. Leave a comment, tell me that you're starting, tell me how you're going, tell me what your goals are. I would love to hear from you. I will see you on the next video, and until then, keep telling your story.